And we are live. Good evening, everyone. Tonight, we will be discussing a video that Meet Kevin recently made where he was discussing his passive income strategy for his Bitcoin investment. And essentially, what he was saying is that he's going to take his Bitcoin and he's going to lend it out to a platform by the name of BlockFi. Now, a lot of you may be wondering, well, what's wrong with that, or what's the problem with doing that? BlockFi is a centralized company. The entire philosophy and purpose of crypto, it's designed to get rid of middlemen, intermediaries, custodians. Crypto is designed to be permissionless, borderless, censorship resistant, and immutable. When Satoshi thought about this concept of creating Bitcoin back in 2008, before the Genesis block, it was to create a system that could operate outside of any central entity that could control it, that could regulate it, that could stop it, that could be concerned about how much money they can make, and not really focusing on the philosophy and what crypto was designed to do. So I think that we need to make sure that we're paying attention to exactly what's going on and why we got involved in this in the first place. You know, it's not just about pumping your bags, but at the end of the day, it's also about the philosophy behind what's going on and what we got involved in this for. And some of you may be saying to yourself, well, what does it mean to be censorship resistant and immutable and permissionless? We just watched Robinhood literally restrict its customers to being able to only sell their GameStop stock. Now, when you look at a company like BlockFi, I went through this with Mt. Gox. If they are hacked or they are compromised and they go bankrupt, what happens to your crypto? See, not your keys, not your crypto. So be mindful of these things. Also, we have to start thinking about rehypothecation, where you can have this entity where they can say that they have all of this Bitcoin on their balance sheet or on the books, but can you really verify that they actually have your crypto and that they did not give out or loan out more crypto than they actually have on their books? This goes back to the whole idea of the goldsmith back in the days when we actually had a gold standard, where you would take your gold and you would leave it down with the goldsmith, and then he would give you a paper certificate that was a claim on that gold. Well, the goldsmith got a bright idea and he said, hey, most people, they don't come back and actually check on their gold. So what I can do is they don't actually come and claim their gold. So what I can do is I can write more paper claims than I actually have gold on demand. So we have to be mindful of these things and not allow a lot of people to come into crypto and basically allow them to corporatize crypto and turn it into something completely different than what it was designed to actually do. So just definitely be mindful of these things when you are getting involved and listening to people like a Graham Stephan or listening to someone like a Meet Kevin, because if you come here and you look at his bio, you can see in here in his description, he has a ton of affiliate links. So of course, he's going to tell you that, you know, putting your money with BlockFi is going to be a good idea because that's what he's doing, and he's going to earn a commission when he does that. Now, again, I'm not here to tell you what you should or should not do. There is a spectrum in terms of how you want to store your crypto and how you want to earn interest on your crypto. But understand that you can earn the same APY that BlockFi is giving you on Fulcrum in a decentralized, permissionless, borderless, peer-to-peer way. You don't need to use BlockFi, and I'm going to walk you through that process. So we need to stop trying to find the easy route or the easy way out and start understanding why we have these tools in the first place. Because I keep telling you that the future will either be a decentralized future or a centralized future. And if you allow your greed to get in the way and stop you from doing what crypto was designed to do, then that we're going to all lose in the end. So just make sure that you're being mindful of those things and that you aren't allowing your greed to blind you. The next thing I want to discuss is this whole idea about the Binance Smart Chain and it being an Ethereum killer. Again, this is a centralized company. When you look at the fact that the Binance Smart Chain only has 21 validators, that's centralization. Binance is literally choosing who can and who can't be validators. That's not something that you should be championing. And I see a lot of you want lower fees, and you're chasing lower fees, and I get it. The fees on Ethereum, they are really, really high as far as gas fees, but they're high for a reason because this product is in demand. So you have to keep that in mind. Binance is a centralized entity, and no one knows where the headquarters for Binance is located. No one knows that as of right now. So you need to keep that in mind. Also, what you need to keep in mind is that if there's only 21 validators, then Binance can pause the chain when they want to. They can roll the chain back when they want to. They can censor your transactions. So all of these are things that you need to make sure that you are keeping in mind. And what I find ironic and I find funny is you have all of this talk about Cardano being an Ethereum killer. Look what happened to your Ethereum killer when a centralized entity that's a copy of Ethereum was created. Binance Coin literally jumped Cardano in a matter of a day. So think about this. Charles Hoskinson, he's been going around telling you how great Cardano is, and Cardano's going to be the Ethereum killer. Yet, all Binance did was literally copy the Ethereum virtual machine, and instead of doing proof of stake, they just did proof of authority, and they jumped your Binance killer that quick. So, it's laughable when you think about it, that they have billions of dollars parked in Cardano, and yet the Binance coin was able to jump them in a matter of a day. So understand that if the Binance Smart Chain is the Ethereum killer, well, then it's the Ethereum killer, because if Binance Smart Chain kills Ethereum, then Cardano is useless and it doesn't exist. So you need to make sure that you're being smart in what you're saying and not just parroting and repeating things that you hear other people say. Now, I get it. A lot of you are new. You are trying to find your footing and figure out what's going on. And all of these things, it's okay. I'm not here to, try to attack you or try to put you down if you don't know any better. But just be mindful as to who and what you follow. I've been involved in crypto since late 2012, 2013. I've made a lot of money and I've lost a lot of money. And I will tell you, Meet Kevin's not doing anything wrong. He's here to make money. He's an entrepreneur. And he's going to recommend things to you that may be okay for you, but also is going to put money into his pocket. So we have to be mindful of those things and just know what we're getting ourselves involved in. So with that being said, please do me a favor as you come into the live stream, like this video, share this video, subscribe. Make sure that you hit the notification bell and you set it to all so that you can receive all of my notifications. Also, make sure that you go into the description and you join my mailing list. There's a link to join my mailing list. So in the event that you do not receive my notifications from YouTube, you can be notified via email when I am going live. Also, if you want to follow me on Instagram and dialogue with me, a link to my Instagram page is in the description below. And you can simply click the link, follow me on Instagram, and shoot me a DM. For those of you that are interested in learning about crypto so that you could be well-versed and understand what is centralization versus decentralization, what is a blockchain, what is a hash function, I created My Tech Academy. We currently have a free 3-day trial. You are welcome to come and try it out. We have a very vibrant community. We discuss everything from altcoins to Bitcoin. We're also created a coding boot camp. Eventually, we're going to get to the point where we're going to start building applications on top of the Ethereum blockchain. You could come and try all of this out for free for 3 days. Be responsible if you take this free 3-day trial. At any moment, if you do not want to be billed and charged, please simply just cancel it before the 3 days are up, and you will not be charged. Also, if you want to speak to me about business or investing, you can book a consultation with me right here on my website, and a link to do so is in the description below. With that being said, let's come here into the chat. I know I was having some issues with my chat earlier. Let's see what's going on. My chat is working now. That's good. And congratulations to all of you. You've been following me. I know a lot of you are making good money with the Bitcoin, Ethereum, Polkadot, the Graph token, VeChain. Congratulations. That's a beautiful thing to see. Type 1 if you can see and hear me, guys. And we can get ready to get started. Says I've been busy working on the new coding bootcamp. Many of you have had some issues with how quick I breeze through the HTML portion and the CSS portion, so I'm redoing everything from scratch. I've put together about 60 hours of content so far, almost probably 90 with all of the edits and stuff like that. So there should be no reason why you should be struggling with the coding bootcamp. Now, with that being said, let's get into this video with me, Kevin. And to be fair, he admits that he's a noob in this video when it comes to Bitcoin, so I'm not here to attack him or bash him. He's very knowledgeable when it comes to real estate and stocks, but when it comes to crypto, I definitely would not take what he says with any sense of authority. So let's play the video, and I'm going to give you some commentary on this.
So this gets interesting. Right now, like a noob, I have some of my Bitcoin at just yet. Now, how am I going to do this? So this gets interesting. Right now, like a noob, I have some of my Bitcoin at, well, actually I have all of my Bitcoin over at Robinhood. And this kind of sucks because in order for me to move my Bitcoin from Robinhood, I actually have to sell it and move the cash. There's no brokerage transferring my Bitcoin, unfortunately. If I do that, though, I end up paying a substantial amount in taxes on the Bitcoin that I own at Robinhood, and I have no intentions of selling this currency, so I've got, well, let's say I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place. I currently have about $120,000 in Bitcoin profits, and 55% of that would go away to the federal government and state of California solely by me making a transition from Robinhood to another account. So there is a possibility that I may decide to keep some of my Bitcoin funds at Robinhood solely to avoid a 55% immediate penalty on something that I actually don't plan on selling anytime in the near future. I plan on buying.
So that's the first thing that I want to discuss. Not your keys, not your crypto. If you are buying any cryptocurrency with a broker or a platform like Robinhood, you do not actually own crypto. You own a derivative or a contract for delivery that tracks the price of Bitcoin or Ethereum, but you don't actually own it, meaning crypto was designed to get rid of middlemen, to get rid of counterparties. You actually can take ownership of your asset. So I can take my crypto off in an exchange like Coinbase, which is centralized, and I can take ownership and custody of it and actually hold my asset. So I do not have to trust. The whole purpose of a cryptocurrency, of Bitcoin, of Ethereum, is to remove trust with a third party. I do not want to trust that Robinhood will do the right thing. I do not want to trust that Robinhood's going to allow me to do what I want with my asset. So therefore, I should be able to take custody and own my own asset. If your crypto is on Robinhood, you do not own it. And if you do not believe me, and you do not believe me, Kevin, this right here is Robinhood.com, and it talks about cryptocurrency transfers and deposits. And I believe that it's important that you know this and learn this so that you do not fall victim to this like me, Kevin, did. At this time, we don't have the functionality to support coin withdrawals. Though, if this changes in the future, we'll let you know. Transferring coins into Robinhood at this time, we don't have the functionality to allow customers to transfer their existing cryptocurrency assets into or out of their Robinhood crypto account. We're considering these features in the future, and we'll update you as soon as they are available. Meaning, if you're buying crypto there, you cannot remove your crypto, nor can you transfer your crypto into that particular entity. So again, centralization. The problem with centralization is that they are in control. It is permissioned. So they tell you what you can do and what you cannot do. The idea of crypto is to be permissionless, meaning that you literally do not need permission to access your funds, to access your assets. So Alice can be here in New York City. Bob can be in Australia. I can literally, me being Alice, I can send Bob $5 million at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I don't have to fill out any paperwork. I don't have to go through, any approval process. I don't need permission to do that. All I need is Bob's public address, and I can send him the funds. And if you're dealing with Bitcoin, within a matter of 6 network confirmations, that's immutable. It's in the blockchain. It cannot be changed. It's there forever. This is the power of crypto. It's giving power to you, the user, the individual. So what Vlad did with Robinhood cannot happen with a Uniswap. And I'm going to explain to you and walk you through that process. So let's go back to the Meet Kevin video. And right here at 9:30.
And hodling. Now, over the past 2 weeks, I've been looking at alternative services. I've tried Coinbase, I've looked into Coinbase Pro, I've looked into Gemini, and all of the services have their own pros and cons. And this video is not designed to be like, and I want to come across as this is an ad for this particular product. I want to explain why I chose a particular product, and then you can make your own decision. Now,
there are opportunities everywhere. The key to all these
no matter which service I would have ended up going with, whether it was Robinhood or Coinbase, Coinbase Pro, Gemini, or something else, I would have eventually, because they all offer one, had some form of, yes, an affiliate link for one of those platforms. And yeah, that does help pay the bills. So I do have an affiliate link for the platform that I have decided to use.
So to make this clear, he's telling you out of his mouth that he's receiving an affiliate link to promote BlockFi. He's about to tell you the platform. And again, you can verify this in his description below. You can see that he's being paid to promote all of these different products and services. And again, I'm not knocking him. I'm not saying that he's scamming or doing anything unethical. He's upfront. He's transparent with you. But understand why he's doing this. Now, right here in the email, if you go here, I received this same offer to be a partner with BlockFi, and I turned it down because this goes against decentralization. Giving your crypto to a middleman goes against everything that I stand for. See, I'm not in this just to pump my bags. I understand many of us, we're going to get filthy rich just based upon a function of timing. But I also believe in this technology. We are going through the 4th industrial revolution that will be spearheaded by technology. And this technology will either enslave us or it will free us. I'm not going to go against what Satoshi gave us. So I was offered to be a partner. This is the email. It was sent to me. I didn't respond to it. I believe in decentralization. I believe in this technology. It would be a slap in the face of the crypto gods to then turn around and promote BlockFi when we have decentralized options like Aave. And we can go and earn 13, 14, 15, 20%, right? So this is the difference. And again, I'm not trying to say like I'm better than someone or I'm more moral. I understand why other people would promote a BlockFi. I'm just not going to do it. If I believe in decentralization, if I believe in the whole idea of getting rid of middlemen, of ending the banks, of being bankless, then why the hell would I turn around and promote BlockFi to you? I don't care how much commissions they're paying out. Now, here's the beautiful thing. They're even getting ready to start offering credit cards with BlockFi, and they're paying out pretty good commissions. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it because, again, I believe in this technology. I believe in transparency. openness, permissionless, borderless, immutability. All of these things matter to me. So keep these things in mind when you're watching this platform. So when you're donating to this platform, or when you become a member of my Tech Academy, like, that's how I earn my money, right? I earn my money through ads, through your donations, and then through you joining the academy, or me just investing in crypto. But I have ethics in what I do based upon the fact of I believe in decentralization, me personally. Keep that in mind.
And that affiliate link is meetkevin.com/BF, like Bravo Frank, except it stands for BlockFi. And now I'm going to explain why I decided to use BlockFi. And just keep in mind, if you go to meetkevin.com/BF, or for short, metkevin.com/BF, you can get up to $250 for free. Take a look at the chart on screen here, and you'll see the different tiers that they have when you deposit money with BlockFi. You'll get totally free money in whatever cryptocurrency you desire. Okay, so here's why I chose BlockFi. First, I really like this principle a lot because it seems intuitive to me, and it's the benefits that I would look for in investing in Bitcoin. So BlockFi has two really neat things that I like. And the example that I'm going to give is, let's assume I have $2.5 million in Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is $50,000 a coin. Well, if I have 50 BTC and I invest that into my BlockFi account for 1 year, I will actually get paid, according to the current calculator, and obviously the interest rate is subject to change, it's a variable rate. But as of today, I would earn about $76,696. That works out to a good chunk of money every single month. In fact, I would be making more than $6,380 per month simply for parking something that I'm investing into anyway at BlockFi. Now, initially, when I heard this, I'm like, too good to be true. Come on, man. Why, if I have my Bitcoin at Robinhood, do I not get paid dividends? And over here at BlockFi, I do get paid dividends. That doesn't smell right. What's the scoop?
So now what I want to do is, again, I want to show you how you can earn better APYs in crypto in a decentralized way, where you do not have to give your Bitcoin to a centralized entity. You don't have to do that, or your crypto in general. The very first thing that we need to do is, let's go to DeFi rate. And we can see right here with DeFi rate, we can actually see what is being paid out through different crypto protocols and different crypto assets. So for example, right here, if you look at a stable coin, USDC, Fulcrum is paying out 22% APYs. And don't worry, I'm going to go to Fulcrum and show you this right now. And if you're in the academy, I walk you through and I show you these things. You can earn 22% on your USDC right now. Right? You can earn up to, on your ETH, I believe with your wrapped ETH, I believe you can earn up to 13%. Give me 1 second. Wrapped Bitcoin, you can earn 13% on Fulcrum. With USDT, you can earn 14% on Fulcrum. With your DAI, you can earn up to 66%. And yes, these rates, they fluctuate, but just keep these things in mind when you're looking at these centralized entities and you're thinking, oh my God, these centralized entities, they're so great. So now I can come over here to a DEX. Let me just show you where the DEX is right here. This is an aggregator. This is, like I said, a decentralized exchange. And I can come over here and I can buy wrapped Bitcoin. So I don't have to actually even buy actual real Bitcoin. Wrapped Bitcoin is just a token of Bitcoin that tracks the price of Bitcoin. I can then buy that Bitcoin here, and then I can come over here to Fulcrum, and I can earn 13.54% on that Bitcoin right over here in Fulcrum. And this is just one way that I can earn that APY. So I can earn a higher APY here on Fulcrum in a decentralized way. So keep this in mind when you're listening to people who are trying to promote you to take your Bitcoin and put it into centralized entities like BlockFi. And again, this is just one way that I'm showing you. And it's really fairly simple to do so. I will walk you through how to do it, but I'm going to do a video literally walking you through how to do this later on in the week. So when I see people like me, Kevin, talking about BlockFi, I understand that he's going to receive an affiliate commission, and there's nothing wrong with that. He's not doing anything unethical, but he also says that he's a noob when it comes to Bitcoin. I'm not a noob. Been doing this for a very long time, and I can show you that there are plenty of ways, and this is just one way of earning a high APY. There are some ways you can earn a 50% or a 60% APY when you start learning how to actually move your crypto around, how to stake it, how to borrow against it, how to do liquidity mining, yield farming. You can earn APYs as high as 30-40% in crypto. So this idea somehow that giving my crypto to a centralized entity like BlockFi makes sense. It's not something that I would recommend that you do, because again, I was burned in Mt. Gox when they were hacked multiple times. I was around for Bitfinex when they were hacked multiple times. So looking at entities like BlockFi, it goes against everything that crypto was designed to do. And as crypto gets more successful and more popular and Bitcoin begins to rise in prices, you're going to see people that have larger followings than me come into crypto, and they're going to try to position themselves as authorities, or they're going to try to recommend things to you. And you have to be mindful of the fact of centralization is the problem, because one company controls what you can and cannot do. It's permissioned, right? So they say when you can access your funds, if you can access your funds, they can lock up your funds, they can freeze your funds. The government can seize your funds from BlockFi. When you're dealing with smart contracts and you're dealing with decentralized exchanges like Uniswap or an aggregator like 1inch, no one owns it. No one controls it. There aren't any, physical locations that you can go to and sue this individual. It's code that's running. Anyone can run the code. The code is running simultaneously everywhere. This is very important that you understand the power of that you have at your fingertips. The fact that I can take custody of my asset. I actually own my keys. That is powerful in itself. Now, I saw some donation come through. Alexander Wilson says on Kara Swisher and Scott Galloway podcast, Kara says she has over $1 million of Bitcoin, but can't access it because she lost her password. Is there any way to access it, or is she out of luck? Most likely she's out of luck, because I'm pretty sure that she actually tried everything in her power to get it back. This is why, again, with great power comes great responsibility. And this is why people like a BlockFi that me, Kevin, is talking about, because a lot of people are lazy and they don't want to have to remember their seed and store it properly. They want to be able to set it and forget it. Well, then what's the purpose of decentralization? What is the purpose of Bitcoin and, Ethereum and DeFi if you're going to just simply give your crypto to centralized entities and middlemen, right? Or what good is it to use the Binance Smart Chain and they have 21 validators that's selected by Binance? See, when you run a Bitcoin node, right, you don't need permission to be a node in the Bitcoin network, on the Bitcoin network. So anyone can be a node and anyone can leave, right? It's no idea of proof of, authority or proof of identity. Like this is laughable that we see people going to that. And that's the next thing I want to get into. This whole idea about this Binance Smart Chain. Again, Binance is a centralized exchange, meaning that someone controls that exchange. We just watched Robinhood shut you down. Why would you want to go and use? I can see if you buy your crypto from Binance and then you shift it to a ledger. And for those of you who do not know, this device right here is a ledger, meaning that I can take my crypto and I can take my private keys and I hold the private keys here, which gives me access to my UTXOs to spend them. I do not need to leave my keys and my crypto on in exchange. Follow me here. This is Binance right here. Again, this isn't a fake tweet. This isn't photoshopped. This is their actual Twitter thread. At 4:35 p.m. on February 19th, This is what they tweeted out. Binance has temporarily suspended withdrawals of ETH and Ethereum-based tokens in order to address the congestion issue. Rest assured, funds are sefu, meaning they're safe. And we apologize for any inconvenience caused. And then they turned around and then they says, Binance has resumed withdrawals of ETH and Ethereum-based tokens. Thank you for your patience. Now, again, a lot of you, you're new to crypto. You're just trying to save on your fees. You don't care. I'm telling you, you don't care until it's time to care. If the government wants to come in and they want to shut Binance down or fine Binance, they will do that. That's counterparty risk. When you are interacting with Uniswap or you are interacting with 1inch, you are interacting with a smart contract. You are not interacting with an individual. You are interacting with code, and code is going to match you up with the automated market maker. So there aren't, a group of people that you can go after when it comes to Uniswap. You can't go after Hayden Adams because he doesn't control the protocol. That's important when you understand the difference between a Uniswap, which is decentralized, and Binance. So the fact that they can shut down your withdrawals tells you that if the government steps in, they can shut this down. Crypto was designed to be censorship resistant, borderless, and permissionless, and immutable. Keep these things in mind. Now, a lot of you are saying, oh, Binance Smart Chain is going to be the killer. Understand that if the Binance Smart Chain is the Ethereum killer, then Cardano is useless. And just think about this for a second. And this is why I laugh at some of you who, you come on here and you try to tell me like, oh, look, you ETH maxis are in trouble. The Binance coin jumped Cardano in a matter of a day. You know why? Because the Binance coin literally copied the Ethereum virtual machine with proof of authority. They didn't copy Cardano, right? CZ and Binance, they didn't copy Cardano. They copied Ethereum. See, the reason why the gas fees are high on Ethereum is because Ethereum actually has users. Cardano doesn't have users. So no one wants to copy Cardano because no one's building anything on Cardano. Right? So it's laughable when I hear people say like, oh, Cardano's the Ethereum killer. No, right? If the Binance Smart Chain is the Ethereum killer, then it's the Ethereum killer. Because if the Binance Smart Chain succeeds, you don't need Cardano. And no, notice that they're not trying to copy the code base of Cardano. It's a reason why. Just like when you hear people say, oh, well, Avalanche can do all of these transactions per second, or, Algorand can do all these transactions per second. I asked them a very simple question. What is the security model on those transactions? Blockchains are designed to be slow. They are not designed to be fast. The faster your blockchain is, the more orphaned blocks you will have, the more latency you will have, and the harder it will be for the nodes to properly sync up. Because there's something known as latency. So when you see people talking about how fast their blockchain is, ask them a very simple question. What is the security model for those thousands of transactions that they can put through at the base layer? And then ask them, what's the latency time? How will the nodes properly sync? And how will they handle orphaned blocks? What do I mean by that? Remember, 2 weeks ago, Bitcoin had a stale block where they had the replaced by fee transaction. Right? Where they were broken. Well, guess what? The faster your blockchain is, the more likely you're going to have orphaned blocks. Right? So you need to ask these people these questions when they're parroting and repeating things. Cardano is selling you a ghost chain at this point. And again, I'm not saying that Cardano is a bad investment. I'm not saying that they may not one day be as successful as Ethereum. But as of today, Ethereum is expensive because people are using Ethereum. And the Binance Smart Chain is just a gimmick to basically try to get you in there. Now, we have to put ourselves in the mindset of a CZ, right? Because CZ is the founder and creator, I believe, of Binance. This is years ago. He actually wanted to roll back the Bitcoin chain because Binance was hacked. Why am I showing you this? Because see, I'm an OG. I've been around for a very, very, very long time. I've witnessed a lot of these things. Look at this date. This is 1:29 a.m., May 8th, 2019. So he has a history of wanting to roll back the chain, wanting to freeze the chain. Right now with the Binance Smart Chain, they only have 21 validators that basically are picked and selected by Binance. So after speaking with various parties, including Jeremy Rubin, I'm not going to read the names, and others, we decided not to pursue the reorg approach. Considerations below. Cons: 1, we may damage credibility of BTC. 2, we may cause a split in both the network and the community. Both of these damages seems to outweigh the $40 million revenge. 3, the hackers did demonstrate certain weak points in our design and user confusion that was not obvious before. Now, obviously, the Bitcoin community was not going to allow him to roll back the chain. He didn't have enough people on his side to do so. When people talk about a reorg, they're basically talking about rolling back the chain to previously before the hackers hacked the hack that act with the. So let's say that hack transpired on block 50. He wants to roll back the chain prior to block 50 to block 49. So therefore, that hack would have never happened. Those stolen funds would have never been confirmed within the network. Again, that's horrible to want to roll back the chain. You should never want to actually roll back a chain. So this tells you that his mindset is that if he doesn't get his way, or if he doesn't like something that happened within the network, well, we're just going to roll back the chain and get the funds back. That's not how business should be conducted. Because if you can roll back the chain for a hack, well, then you can roll back a chain if the government comes after you. The whole purpose of crypto is to be anti-fragile, right? To be robust, where governments cannot actually come after you and make you enforce you to roll back the chain, right? We don't know who Satoshi is. People make it like that's a bad thing. That's a good thing, because you can't put pressure on any one entity to do things or influence the network or network participants to do something. That's the power of decentralization. I saw some donations come through. Thank you. I'm just going to say Thurkey. Thank you, the king of. Appreciate it. Thurkey says, what happened to the crypto from people who lost it? It's gone. And that's another thing too that you have to keep in mind. That when you look at Bitcoin, when they said that there's 18 million Bitcoin in circulation, it's actually less, because you have to factor in Satoshi's coins that haven't moved. And then you have to factor in all of the crypto that's actually been lost in people's hard drives, or the crypto that people forgot their private keys to the crypto. That crypto is never going to come back into circulation. So some people believe that there's probably only about 15 million, BTC in circulation as of today. So that makes the remaining 3 million plus ever more valuable, because again, we have a lot of demand and a very, very small supply. So because there will never be more than 21 million Bitcoin ever in existence, right? So if about 3 to 4 million of that Bitcoin supply is basically taken out of circulation because it's been lost, then that makes the remaining Bitcoin ever more valuable. And thank you for the donation, Ken E. So now let's get into this, right? Because again, I have people who come into my videos and they try to troll me talking about, oh, you're just hating on Binance. You're just hating on Binance because, it's taking market share from Ethereum. Number one, I have no reason to be mad. I've been in Ethereum since it was $40. I've been in ETH since it was $40, right? I made a lot of money. I'm up big. I have no reason to be mad. So keep that in mind. But when you think about Binance, it says Binance doesn't have a headquarters because Bitcoin doesn't, says CEO. Now, I want you to show you a master manipulator. On one end of the spectrum, he's pro decentralization. You can't know where Binance is because that's the whole idea of crypto. But when his exchange gets hacked, now he wants to be centralized and he wants to roll back the chain. See, people like CZ, they play both sides, and you have to be mindful of that. So let's read this article, and I'm not going to read the entire article, but so right here it says there were only 5 minutes left on the clock. Zhao was looking confident. He had just batted away a thorny question about an ongoing lawsuit. It was looking like the home stretch. Then it hit. Shin asked the one question Zhao really didn't want to have to answer, but many want to know. Where is Binance headquarters? Zhao is CZ. This seemingly simple question is actually more complex. Until February, Binance was considered to be based in Malta. That changed when the island European nation announced that no, Binance is not under its jurisdiction. Since then, Binance has not said just where exactly it is now headquartered. Little wonder that when asked Zhao Rinded, he stammered, he looked off camera, possibly to an aide. Well, I think what this is the beauty of the blockchain, right? So you don't have to like wear the Bitcoin office because Bitcoin doesn't have an office, he said. And again, it's hard to read this because they're quoting his words. So forgive me if it doesn't sound right because I guess there's a language barrier. So this is, again, I guess he's Asian. I don't know exactly if he's, Japanese, Chinese. So forgive me if it's not sounding correctly. The line trailed off, then inspiration hit. What kind of horse is a car? Zhao asked. Binance has loads of offices, he continued, with staff in 50 countries. It was a new type of organization that doesn't need registered bank accounts and postal addresses. Wherever I sit is going to be the Binance office. Wherever I need somebody is going to be the Binance office, he said. So basically, he didn't answer where Binance is located at. As you can see, it's broken English. He didn't really articulate himself well. And again, this is him on the record saying this. Nowhere knows where the actual company is located. So this is, you have to make sure that you're keeping these things in mind when you are putting your money with Binance. Brother, are you FO? If so, greetings to you. I don't know exactly what that means, electronics, but thank you. I'm learning so much. Thank you. No problem. And blessed. Assume Cottage. Thinking about rolling my ADA gains into DOTs. You think DOT got any more gas? I'm currently taking the subtrade dev class and like what I'm seeing. I personally believe that if Ethereum fails, Polkadot's going to be the way to go. If Ethereum and both Cardano succeeds, I believe that Polkadot's going to be the way to go. Polkadot will be the bridge to multiple blockchains. I think that's why I'm so big on Polkadot, because I really, really believe that it has a lot of potential. The problem with Polkadot is that it's a very, very complex project. And this technology is extremely, extremely hard to, get to work, just with, as you can see with Ethereum, how long it's taken for ETH 2.0. And the more complexity that you add, the more likely something will go wrong and break, or be exposed. You increase your, attack surface, right? So I think it's a good project. I wouldn't sell all of my Cardano gains and put it into Polkadot. Maybe take 20%. And again, this isn't financial advice. Maybe 30% of your profit and roll it into Polkadot. But I believe that if Polkadot is successful, we're looking at, $1 trillion plus market cap. Because I believe that it's going to be the bridge to so many different cryptocurrencies with this power chains. But again, we're early in the game and so many things can go wrong up until that point. But it's good that you're taking a dev class, because this is why I'm putting together the coding bootcamp in my tech academy. And I'm doing it the way that I'm structuring it, because I believe that you're going to make more money in crypto building things or working in crypto than you ever can make investing in it. Unless you get into something like, Chainlink or Bitcoin, and at the early stages, and you just happen to put 20 grand in and become, almost a billionaire. Most people who build wealth like CZ, who built Binance, or off the haze at BitMEX. That's where the real wealth is created. Or, Hayden Adams with Uniswap. It's people who build things. So congratulations to you taking that course. I want to see more of you getting involved in development, because that's where the real money is actually at. Right. Now, with that being said, as you can see here, Binance is not under our jurisdiction, says Malta regulator, so it's not based in Malta. So again, I know that they do have like a semi headquarters in San Francisco, but again, they have like these little small shells all over, but the actual physical corporation for the Binance company, no one really knows to this day where it's located at. So these is things that you have to keep in mind. Again, I'm not saying that Binance is a scam, right? We have to be able to be binary, get out of this idea of being, a binary thinker. It's either something is or isn't a scam. What you have to understand is that by him structuring a company the way that it's structured, it removes him of having to be accountable to you. And it allows him to be able to do certain things that normal companies would not be able to do in the event that they need to do so. So this is why I'm a huge proponent of taking ownership of your assets. I do not like leaving my crypto on Coinbase, on Gemini. I do not want to listen to people like me, Kevin, and put my crypto with BlockFi. I want to be able to control the private keys, and I want to be able to control where my crypto is currently at. Because the whole purpose of crypto, it was designed to get rid of middlemen. It was designed to get rid of CEOs, to get rid of executives, be permissionless, be borderless, and be transparent, which is definitely the key. Now, let's get into this idea of, this Binance Smart Chain and what's actually going on. And I really like Calvin's thread here. So let's zoom in. It says, here's the one thread you need to read on BSC, which stands for the Binance Smart Chain, to actually do your own research and stop listening to all these talking heads on Twitter. I totally agree. 1, last year, Binance launched a POA-based Ethereum virtual machine, which stands for EVM, right? And POA stands for proof of authority. So you have proof of stake, right? That's what Ethereum's transitioning to. You have proof of work. That's what Bitcoin uses when it mines. And this is basically how you reach consensus within the network. And you have proof of authority, right? So a proof of authority based Ethereum virtual machine compatible chain, compatible with common tools like MetaMask, Trust Wallet, etc. It works with your Ethereum address. Now, why is this important? What is proof of authority? Well, let's go right over here to Wikipedia. Excuse me. In proof of authority based networks, transactions and blocks are validated by approved accounts. When you look at Bitcoin, anyone can be a node. Anyone can be a miner. You're anonymous. You do not have to get approved to mine the Bitcoin network. You do not have to get approved to be a node within the Bitcoin network. That's the whole idea of anonymity, meaning that anyone can participate anywhere in the world. So therefore, the government cannot come in and shut down the 21 validators, because I do not have to basically give up my identity to be a node or miner within the Bitcoin network. And you can't shut down a network because a miner can be anywhere. A node can be anywhere. I'm running a node locally on my machine. That's the power of decentralization. It can be anywhere and everywhere at the same time. So the idea of proof of authority is you have to get approved in order for you to be a validator, known as a validator. Validators run software allowing them to put transactions in blocks. The process is automated and does not require validators to be constantly monitoring their computers. It, however, does require maintaining the computer, the authority node, uncompromised. The term was coined by Gavin Wood, co-founder of Ethereum and Parity Technologies, and Gavin Wood now currently is working on the Polkadot project. With POA, individuals earn the right to become validators, so there is an incentive to retain the position they have gained. By attaching a reputation to identity, validators are incentivized to uphold the transaction process, as they do not wish to have their identities attached to a negative reputation. So, last line here, POA is suited to private blockchains in which authority node identity may be established and disclosed within the private network. Some consider POA ill-suited to public blockchains. Again, this is what the Binance Smart Chain is using, and they're using 21 validators. Very, very important. This point of interoperability is important because a user doesn't need to deal with new wallets or infrastructure to use this chain, whereas past projects like Tron required you to download a new set of tools. Disclaimer, this chain operates with 21 validators that have staked BNB. It is currently centralized and can be conclusively described as permissioned, aka Binance has selected who can operate these nodes and thus have an influence over this chain. So the reason why the Binance Smart Chain is cheaper, the reason why the Binance Smart Chain is faster is because it's centralized. The reason why Ethereum or Bitcoin may be slower or it may be more expensive for Bitcoin transactions is because it's decentralized. And many of you, you don't care about centralization versus decentralization. You just want your bags to pump. And that's exactly why the other day I made the post where I said, you know what? I think it's time to, hit the brakes. And I sold most of my altcoins. I took some profit in ETH, took some profit in Bitcoin, because I'm realizing that when I start seeing people like Meet Kevin get involved and I see him promoting centralized entities like BlockFi, when I see so many people excited about the Binance Smart Chain and people say, oh my God, this is an Ethereum killer, I understand that we have a lot of newbies here and they don't understand why are we even here in the first place. And I guess many of you don't care. You just want your bags to pump, and that's okay. I'm not here to try to tell you what you should do or should not do with your money. I just know that when I start seeing this, this is telling me that we're getting very, very frothy, that the market's overheating and we're due for some type of a pullback. Now, I could be wrong, and I posted that the other day. But I mean, as I said before, I've been in ETH since it was $40. We just hit $2,000 today. Why not take some profit? And when I say take profit, meaning that I go into a stable coin. I don't go back into fiat. So I'm sitting in fiat right now because I'm also looking at some new projects that's getting ready to launch on the Polkadot blockchain and system. So I'll be looking to allocate some resources to those projects. But I'm just not liking the things that I'm seeing in the space when I have people telling me that the Binance Smart Chain is an Ethereum killer, when literally they're just copying the Ethereum code base for many of the applications that they have, and it's centralized from top to bottom. This isn't something that you should want to be putting your money into. I saw a few donations come through. Ballheaded Jamaican, thank you. What's up? Still can't join a Slack group. It's asking for an invite. Thanks again. I don't understand what's going on. I thought that I invited you. I'll take a look at it and see what's going on. No, I'm not a fruit of Islam. I was born in the nation of Islam. I was named after the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. My name's Elijah. I was in the nation, I think, for maybe till I was about like 7, 8. We practiced up until like 10, 11 years old, and then my family eventually got out of the mosque and got away from that ideology. So I was like a fruit of Islam, but again, I was named after the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Isn't Cardano still in development though, or can you run dApps on it now? It's still in development. That's my point. You're calling something an Ethereum killer when I believe in March is when they're supposed to be launching everything. You just don't. I haven't been following Cardano, to be honest with you, but from my understanding, I believe that they're supposed to be launching in March. Everything right now with Cardano is still in development, and that's my point. You have people telling you that Cardano's an Ethereum killer and that it's going to do this, it's going to do that. And the reality is, think about this. Excuse me. Charles has $35 billion investing in Ethereum, right? So, the Ethereum and Cardano. Cardano has received billions of dollars to develop their blockchain, their tools, and their systems. Yet the Binance coin leapfrogged them in a day. that just goes to tell you, like, how serious is this project if it can get jumped in a day because the Binance coin didn't copy Cardano, and what Cardano's been building, they copied Ethereum. So clearly Ethereum has the first mover's advantage. Clearly Ethereum has the users and the utility. Clearly people want to use Ethereum to the point where the Binance coin is copying the Ethereum virtual machine. They're not copying what Cardano is doing. And again, I'm not knocking Cardano. I'm not saying that it's a scam, that it will not be something good. What I'm saying to you is that you have to prove yourself. You cannot call something an Ethereum killer that isn't even killing anything yet. First, they have to go and launch something, build some applications, build something to the equivalent of a Uniswap, of a 1inch, of an Aave, of a Synthetics. Look at what you have on Ethereum, and look at what you have with Cardano. You have Charles. He comes on his YouTube channel every day, and he gives you. I give it to him. He's a great speaker. He's a great salesman. But at the end of the day, you have to prove that you can deliver at a certain point. That's just the reality. Evening, Elijah. Thank you again for all your knowledge. What price do you believe GRT can reach this year? I always said that GRT, in my personal opinion, a conservative estimate was a $3 to $5 billion market cap is what I focus on right now. And we briefly achieved $3 billion, I believe, right? Which is why I started cashing out some of my GRT. Right here, you're 2.88. When we got up to about $3, I started cashing out. That was my price range from $3 to $5 billion is what I believe that GRT should be at. Again, we're early. You never know how high things can go. But for me personally, I've been involved from 33 cents, right? So that's almost a 10x. Anytime I 10x, I'm taking some money off the top. And you have to understand where you're investing in a particular project based upon the cycle. I've been in this now for years, but let's just talk about the cycle. I've been in GRT from when it first became, to launch to the public. So many of you are just now finding out about this. So if you double your money, you're in the cycle later than someone like me who basically 10x their money. So you have to be mindful of those things when you're investing as to where you are getting involved in the cycle. Are you investing in the middle of the cycle? Are you getting involved towards the end of the cycle? These things matter. And me personally, in my personal opinion, I just believe that we need a pullback. We need a 30 or 40% correction in crypto just to wipe out a lot of weak hands. So I would be looking to add, like, for example, when GRT crashed down to $1.89, $1.90, you can add some more there. But I definitely took some profit on GRT. Now the rest I'll let ride. If we get a 40% pullback, I'll buy more. Right? If we crash down to $1.50, $1.75 GRT, I'll buy more. But that's how I look at it. I look at GRT for like a $3 to $5 billion market cap. So I'm sitting in these stable coins. We get a good pullback, I'll buy back in. But you should be you can't go broke taking profits. And I know a lot of you're like, oh my God, I don't know when to sell. Just take a little bit off the table, right? Every time you double your money, take 10% off, depending on how much you have invested, right? And this isn't financial advice. So for me, I'm coming in $100,000, $250,000. So when you're dealing with the type of money that I'm dealing with, I have to cash out early because there isn't enough liquidity for me to get out, right? So a lot of you are like, oh my God, why would you sell? Well, if you're trying to dump $1 million plus worth of crypto, if you come and start hitting those bids, you're going to crash the price. So I like to sell into strength. For me, I have big accounts. I have big amounts of money. For you, if you have $1,000 or $10,000, it doesn't matter when you sell, right? These are things that you have to keep in mind. So be mindful of what I'm saying versus what you should be doing, right? Everyone's, financial decision is different for different people, right? Like if you're dealing with millions of dollars worth of crypto, then you need to make sure that you're getting out ahead of the game, right? Like if the market starts crashing down 20%, I'm gonna make the market crash another 10% in something like GRT because, you have to think about the fact of like just the lack of liquidity in the way that crypto trades. Being that these markets trade 24/7, 365, there's a lot of wash trading that happens, like a lot of bot trading and fake trading, because it's hard to have a market that trades, all day long and actually have real volume. So you'll see like these flash crashes and these spikes happen. That's just because people, they start selling some real big size. So when we were pumping those 2 days of GRT, I was taking profit, but I'll buy back in. Like Jay Han said, the real question is what happened to common sense. Exactly. It's embarrassing watching these people, like Meet Kevin. People follow people like Meet Kevin and put their crypto on Robinhood when Robinhood just screwed you over. Robinhood just screwed the GameStop traders over. I don't know if I can take your word on Cardano because Gene Simmons just invested $300K in ADA. Yeah, I saw that Gene Simmons, he also invested in Dogecoin. Speaking of Dogecoin, let's see what this garbage is doing. I haven't been paying attention. It's 5 cents. And that's another thing. You're going to start seeing a lot of these celebrities get involved in crypto. You're going to start to see a lot of entertainers, again, people with bigger platforms than me, and they're going to be like Lindsay Lohan getting involved in Tron, which is garbage. How are you doing? What do you think of the super cycle talk? I agree with it, Aaron Hunt. I believe that we're going to have a super cycle. The difference is, and I'm going to get to that video in a second with Kathy Wood. The difference is this, though. I believe that we're going to have a massive shakeout. See, when people talk about super cycles, they talk about where we're going to end. And I believe Bitcoin's going to $1 million. I've been in Bitcoin since it was $800. I'm good. So I'm in Bitcoin. But I believe that before we get there will be big drops. Like we're going to have big pumps and we're also going to have big dumps, right? So we may pump to 65, 70,000 and then we may crash down to 50 again, right? So understand that when we have these dumps, that's when I want to get involved. Also understand that I was holding a lot of crypto from 2017, 2018, right? So when you start thinking about like a 0x or VeChain, like I was holding these projects. So now that I'm up 20x in some of these projects, okay, cash out now, go into a stable coin. And now let's start looking at, Polkadot and what's coming up next, because I'm a believer in, I don't believe in chain maximalism. I believe in interoperability. And if you look at the things I'm investing in, I'm investing heavily into infrastructure because I believe that that's where the best bang for your buck is going to come. Rather than trying to pick the best cryptocurrency, I don't care about the BMW, the Range Rover, or the Mercedes-Benz. I want to invest in the gas that's going to power those cars. So I want to cash out a lot of these things and build up some money because I want to really start going and investing heavily into some Polkadot projects. So that's what I'm doing right now. And that's another reason why I was just raising some money. And at the end of the day, just being defensive, like I'm up big. But I do believe that we're going to have a super cycle. I'm still about 60, 65% invested in terms of like my Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc. I converted some of my ETH over to ETH 2.0. So I'm good with staking. I'll be able to earn some good money with staking once that goes live with ETH 2.0. So I'm just being defensive at this point, protecting my gains. Like when you make a 20x in an investment, you take some money. You don't have to be greedy. Now, again, for some of you, if you don't have a lot of money, that's different. And you don't really understand time in the market. But I believe that this will be a super cycle, and we're going to get to the Kathy Wood video in a second. ADA isn't infrastructure. ADA is trying to be a smart contract platform. ADA is going to be a platform. When I talk about infrastructure, I mean things that will power those platforms, right? So that's what I mean by infrastructure. I mean the actual the chain links, the graph tokens of the world, the bridges of the world, like a Polkadot, where you're going to be able to bridge other chains to each other. A Matic with a layer 2 scaling solution. When I look at a Cardano, to me, that's a software platform, right? A smart contract platform. I don't look at it as an infrastructure play. Not for me. So let's go to Kathy Wood and listen to what she had to say.
Surprised us. We expected institutional interest to pick up this year, and it certainly has. But the way in which it's picked up has surprised us. I don't think we ever thought there would be broad-based substitution of Bitcoin for cash on corporate balance sheets. So we find that very interesting. If all corporations in the United States were to put I think it's, yes, 10% of their cash into Bitcoin, that alone would add $200,000 to the Bitcoin price. Now, we obviously do not believe this is going to happen very quickly. We're talking about maybe the equivalent of $900 billion market cap equivalent for Bitcoin. That's less than half the price of the Apples and Amazons of the world. So this has to mature a little bit before broad-based adoption can take place. But we're very reassured that companies like Square and Tesla have chosen to allocate.
I'll get to your super chat in a second, JB, if I missed it. Kathy Wood is literally repeating what I've been saying now for months now. You're going to get to a point, and again, I'm not trying to say that I'm smarter than Kathy Wood. Kathy Wood is by far one of my favorite personalities in the finance space. But I've been saying to you, Bitcoin is pristine collateral. And when you understand the Democrats are in control and what they're getting ready to do to the deficit, to the printing press, is going to be insane. They are going to print a tremendous amount of money because that's the only way to get out of the crisis that we're in right now, is to print more money. So what's going to happen when, let's say, 20 or 30% of the S&P 500 allocates 1 to 3% of their treasury or their balance sheet over to Bitcoin? What is that going to do to the price? So she misspoke when she said the number 900 billion. It's really about 1%. But again, it happens when you're speaking. But yeah, 100%. I see a trend happening. If Elon Musk is getting involved, you have MicroStrategy, you have Guggenheim. It's only a matter. You have Square. It's only a matter of time before the other companies start to do it, because again, it goes into game theory, right? If I don't put Bitcoin on my balance sheet, it puts me at a competitive disadvantage to other companies, because Tesla made more money in buying Bitcoin than they made selling cars in its existence. In the existence of the company, Tesla made more money by buying and holding Bitcoin than they've ever made in actually selling cars. So now what happens to Tesla's competitors? It forces them to have to put it on their balance sheet, because if they don't put Bitcoin on their balance sheet and other companies start to do so, remember, there's a finite amount of Bitcoin. So that's very, very powerful and important that you understand why Bitcoin is a must-have, because again, there's only 3 more million over the course of up until 2140 that will ever come back into circulation, right? Because the other, you have 18 million in circulation right now, and another 3 million that will be allocated over each individual block that's mined, as far as the block subsidy and the block reward is concerned. So there's a smaller amount of Bitcoin that will come into circulation over the coming years, and people are going to have to fight for that Bitcoin. So it's definitely going to put a lot of demand for Bitcoin, and definitely for corporations to put it on their balance sheet. Let's go to JB, right? You did make a donation and I missed that. Sorry about that. JB says, "Hey Ela, are you aware of Hather? And if so, what do you think about it? Also, how do you stealthily cash out into fiat for educational purposes only?" I will cover that inside of the academy, JB. I will not cover that here in the public, for educational purposes only. I have not heard of Hathor. or Hathor. But again, post this question inside of our community, inside of our Slack group, or post it inside of our live Q&A, because we're going to have our community meeting on Wednesday. We were supposed to have it last Wednesday, but I just got caught up with some stuff. So we're going to have it this Wednesday, and I'll cover this question for you since a lot of you have that particular question. And for those of you who are interested in joining the Academy, learning about crypto, joining our Slack community, learning about development, we have My Tech Academy. You are welcome to come and try it out for 3 days for free. We have a free 3-day trial. And as long as you cancel it before the 3 days are up, you will not be charged or billed. Another thing that's funny too that I posted the other day is this is the Motley Fool. This is a finance website / blog. And they posted this years ago. This was December 20th, 2020. Here's why I won't buy Bitcoin. And then they turn around and the Motley Fool announces a $5 million investment in Bitcoin. And they even posted years ago, I believe they said Bitcoin is a bad investment. And Bitcoin, I posted that on my timeline. Hold on. We can pull this up, because I shared this on my community tab right here. Here's why Bitcoin is a horrible investment. And Bitcoin was trading at $240. This was back in April 9th, 2013. And then they turn around now and they just invested $5 million into it. You know, so I don't say this to brag. I just simply say this to you, to be careful with who you listen to, because these people were viewed as some type of authority in in a finance space, and yet they got Bitcoin completely wrong. And if they took the same $5 million and they invested it back in 2013, that would be worth well over $1 billion today. So I'm very confident in my ability to read the markets, to read the trend. And a lot of people don't like it when I say things like, I truly believe that I am more savvy and I am more intelligent than the average hedge funder or analyst on the street, because many of these people, they really just regurgitate other people's talking points. You don't really see a lot of these people actually trailblaze and create their own, a thesis as to why they want to invest in something. You don't really see them put together their own thoughts and their own, just basically, why do I want to buy something? What do I think is going to happen? Not, I'm buying this because of Michael Saylor purchased it or because Elon Musk purchased it, but I'm buying this because I actually have my own view as to what the world will look like going forward. And I've been really, really good at just putting together my own ideas, going back to even 3D printing stocks, or shipping stocks, or the chip manufacturers. Like, I was able to see all of these things before we got to this point, and the average person just can't see it. So what you're going to start to do is you're going to start to see a lot of people who they were wrong now get involved, and that's a beautiful thing, because you're going to pump my bags. But when you start seeing this happen, it's telling you that maybe we're getting to the top. I believe that we have one more big push, and then we're going to see some type of a pullback, not a crash, but just a pullback. And that's kind of what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for a pullback before I reinvest back into some projects that I want to get involved in. George Diaz, thank you for the donation. I'm taking profit, but still being greedy with the amount of DOT and KSM and holding ahead of the parachain auctions. Is DOT a long-term hold in terms of where it is during its launch? Absolutely. That's why I told you right now, I'm basically fully invested. When I say fully, like, I'm about 60 to 65 invested, 60 to 65% still invested in Polkadot, Ethereum, GRT, Bitcoin, and Chainlink. Those right now are by far my favorite holdings right now that I'm holding. I'm waiting for a pullback so that I can load up on Aave, load up on synthetics. I didn't want to get involved in Lit. That's a project that I'm really, really interested in. Moonbeam is getting ready to launch. PolkaSwap, whenever that launches. I really want to invest in a lot of projects on Polkadot. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Again, like I said, I 20x my investment in certain projects. So right now I'm just sitting in my stable coins and loading up. Let's say Polkadot drops 30 or 40%. I just load up and buy more, right? So that's how I'm looking at things. Right? That's my mentality. So that's what I'm looking at. So you can't go broke taking profits. One thing with crypto you have to understand. I'm an OG, man. I've been in this since 2012, 2013. It could drop 90%. Bitcoin can drop 80%. Bitcoin can drop 80%. Trust me. Go back and look at what they call it, Black Thursday with Ethereum, where it crashed all the way down to $100. Crypto can crash. It can crash really, really quickly, and it could go right back up. So just be mindful of these things, right? We just broke above $1 trillion market cap. I believe they're at like 1.7 now, right? We're at 1.73. This is a baby in the world of finance. Baby. Don't be greedy. Take profits. I don't care if you're selling increments of, think about it. If you're dollar cost averaging in, that means you're buying in increments. Then you should sell in increments. And again, this isn't financial advice, so keep that in mind. But if I 3x'd or 4x'd, I'm going to take 10 or 20% off, depending on how much I have invested. Now, if you only have a couple $100, then you don't need to do anything. Just hold your stuff, right? But if you have lots of money, like some of you, you've made 8,000, 16,000, and you only invested $500 or $1,000. Man, you better take some profit. At least take the 1,000 you made. That would be smart to do so. JS Precy, hello, sir. As for the graph, may I have a stock price number possible achieved in 2021? I told you, I look at market cap, right? So I look $3 to $5 billion market cap. We almost hit a $3 billion market cap. That was $3. So I would be looking, like I said, a $3 to $5 price range is where I'll be looking to take profit. I already started taking profit in the graph token with the graph token. So, and again, this is not. I've been involved in the graph token since 33 cents, right? So when we get up to almost $2.89, I'm taking some profit like I did, and I'll buy back in at $1.89, $1.50, $1.30, if we get there. But right now, I'm definitely going to book some profits like I did because that's just a lot of money to make. Especially when you see markets, just shoot straight up like that, you have to take some profit. Jay Wall made 5K plus on the graph. Thanks for being informative and not a pump and dump. Yeah, no problem, Jay Wall. If you're in the academy, and for those of you who don't know, this is the academy right here. A link to join the academy is in the description below. I'll also post this in the chat. If you the entire list that I gave you guys, and again, I'm not saying this because you should just follow everything that I'm saying. If you go look at the list that I gave you in the academy, almost everything on that list 10x'd. Almost everything on that list 10x, except for like basic attention token and Tezos. I believe Tezos didn't perform really well, and basic attention token didn't perform that well. So I got out of basic attention token too early. But almost everything else 10x'd. Even projects that I didn't get into, but I liked Loopring, Aave, Synthetics, Monsters, Maker, just pure monster projects. So the Ren project, I like the Ren project. They just straight beast. So I only invest in things that I think institutional investors would be involved in. Same thing with Link. I've been talking about Chainlink since it was $2. Literally, go back and watch my old video. Since Link was $2, it's trading at $34 right now. So, Polkadot, I posted it earlier. I was talking about Polkadot on this channel at $4. I told you Polkadot's going to be a big project. Mark it down right now. Moonbeam, when Moonbeam launches, Moonbeam is going to be one of the biggest projects on Polkadot. Mark my words. Moonbeam. Again, not financial advice. It's not live yet, but when it goes live, watch out for it. Rashid Khalid says, bro, do you think ETH will drop? Yes, I believe that ETH will drop. I believe that all of crypto will drop. I was saying this I believe that we're in a super cycle. So if you think about this, just like we get 50% pumps in a day, we're probably going to get a 30% dump in a day, right? It's the ebb and flow of the market, right? We're a very, very small market. It's easy to push prices around. Just like we're getting these big pumps, we're going to get a massive dump. Do I believe it's going to be a bear market? No. But I believe we're going to get a 30 or 40% dump one of these days. That's when I'm going to buy back into the dump. I just see too much foolishness happening with the Binance Smart Chain, with things like BlockFi going on right now. People, there isn't enough fear in the market right now. We need more fear, right? Too much greed in the market. Too much greed. So the way the market operates is it operates off of fear and greed, and we just need to put a little bit of fear in these newbies. These newbies are too bold. I have people telling me, Cardano's the Ethereum killer. I'm like, are you serious? So thank you for the donation. So Moonbeam is going to be big. Yeah, dips flush out the chumps. We have to get rid of. There's too much dumb money. Like when you see things like Dogecoin pumping still, like seriously. And look at this for you Ripple tards, because I know I always have to pick on the Ripple tards. Look at this. Polkadot flipped Ripple. I told you. I said Polkadot would flip Ripple. Polkadot flipped Cardano. Polkadot and Cardano, they're going back and forth. Polkadot's going to flip Cardano again. Mark this. Like, in my opinion, Polkadot's much, much better than Cardano. But again, that's my opinion. But Polkadot flipped Ripple. Look at Link. Link is $14 billion. Ripple is 22. I told you, Polkadot and Link would flip Ripple. I was halfway right. We're getting very close. It's 8 billion away from flipping Ripple. 8 billion away. $8 billion away. I like Powerlink. I like the Powerlink project. I like the team behind it. I'm not as big on Powerlink as Moonbeam, or Lit, right? Powerlink, I like the project. I think it's going to be a big project, but I'm not as enthusiastic about the project. Like I'm not going to say like, oh, it's going to be really, really big. Moonbeam's going to be really, really, when I say really, really big, I mean like top 25, top 50. Moonbeam will be a big project, in my opinion. Powerlink may get top 150. I love Loop Ring. Loop Ring is definitely going to help with gas fees right now. So you could even send crypto through Loop Ring to other people for basically like 0% gas fees. So Loop Ring is a huge project. I love Loop Ring. Really, really, with ZK rollups, that technology is important. Excuse me. Okay, so let's see what's going on up here. Yeah. But I like to see stuff like that, Jay Wall. The fact that you made $5,000 on the graph token. And I pride myself in not being a pump and dumper. When you hear me talk about something, I'm talking about it because I really researched the project. And I mainly focus on the team. I think that the team will make your projects go. That's why I knew Polkadot would be big, because Gavin was one of the founders and creators of Ethereum, and he basically wrote the Solidity programming language. So he understands what Ethereum can do and what it cannot do. Remember, Charles ended up leaving because he wanted to turn Ethereum into a VC project, and Vitalik didn't want to do that. So it goes to show you the difference in philosophy and ideology when it comes to crypto. So It's going to be interesting to see, can Cardano eventually live up to a lot of the lofty claims that they've been promoting to people. That would be interesting to see. Let's see what else is going on in here. Yeah, man, I really believe Moonbeam's going to be a monster. Dogecoin is useless. Dogecoin was designed to be a meme. Many of you who are buying Dogecoin, God bless you. Could it pump more? Maybe. I would not buy Dogecoin. Me personally, I would not touch Dogecoin. I do not think that you should be putting any of your money into Dogecoin, in my personal opinion. There's just better places to park my money than Dogecoin. Yeah, looks like pretty much it. Pretty much looks like it. B says, laugh my Eli, I was on Clubhouse and those Bitcoin maxis are something else. Yeah, Bitcoin maximalists, they're extremely disingenuous when they speak. And you have to laugh at them because they've been so wrong. Right? Like think about it. They've said so many things about Ethereum that were inaccurate. And yet, when you look at Ethereum is superior to Bitcoin in every way you can possibly think. In almost every way that you could possibly think, except for the fact that Ethereum is not designed to be money, right? So it's laughable when you listen to the Bitcoin maxi speak, because what can you do with your Bitcoin, right? Besides holding your Bitcoin, what else can you do with it? You don't have privacy on Bitcoin. You don't get any throughput on Bitcoin, right? Like all of the upgrades that they were promising you, you haven't received any of the upgrades. If you go back to the whole, SegWit debate and the Bitcoin Cash fork, all of the things that were promised to you, you haven't received any of those things, right? Right? So when like Mr. G says BTC is the truth, what's the truth about BTC? They lied to you. They lied to you to pass SegWit. None of the things in SegWit you received yet. Right? When you had the SegWit 2x upgrade, none of the things that they promised you received it. You have no privacy in Bitcoin whatsoever. You can't build anything on top of it. There's more Bitcoin sitting on top of the Ethereum blockchain than that's sitting inside of Lightning. Right? So what exactly outside of other people buying it and pushing the price up, what exactly did you get with Bitcoin? Right? And when you ask the maxis these questions, they can't answer those questions for you. Bitcoin will never be a currency, right? Because understand, right? You don't spend your money and post a picture of your bank statement every time you spend money, right? No one does that, right? Think about it. When you spend your Bitcoin, you give someone your address, and then they can see how much Bitcoin you have in your address. So you don't have any privacy in Bitcoin whatsoever, right? So the halvening wasn't in the Bitcoin white paper. Blockstream has hijacked the project. Let's just be real about it, right? So these are things that you have to be honest about the state of the project. I mean, I could go on for days about Bitcoin. But I don't like to bash Bitcoin because I understand that you need Bitcoin to pump in order for all of the other cryptocurrencies to pump. But the reality is that, like, Bitcoin has some serious limitations to what it can do. It's designed to be digital gold, and it does that really, really well. But outside of that, what else? Right? So what else can you do with your Bitcoin? So 100% financial mind. Let Bitcoin rise and get completely wrapped on Ethereum. I told you, there will be more Bitcoin sitting on top of the Ethereum network, wrapped Bitcoin, than that's sitting in Lightning as we continue to go forward. And as we build these bridges and these new protocols, like, you're going to get to a point where Ethereum will flip Bitcoin. And people don't like to hear that. Ethereum will flip Bitcoin eventually. It almost happened years ago. Right? That will happen. Right? Like, you have no privacy on Bitcoin whatsoever. They didn't increase the block size like they said they would do. You didn't get any of the things that you were supposed to get. Right? Like, seriously, what technological improvements have you received with Bitcoin? Taproot? Right? Like seriously. It's like this is laughable. Right? All you have with Bitcoin is that other people buy it and the price goes up. That's it. Ethereum, you have stable coins, you have borrowing, you have lending, you have privacy with Tornado Cash, you have throughput with ZK rollups, you have insurance. Right? Well, what do you have with Bitcoin? How can you have finance? How can you have finance without borrowing, without lending, without insurance? You have derivatives, you have margin trade. What do you have with Bitcoin? Nothing. You have nothing with Bitcoin. Like, all you have is scarcity. It's scarce. You have there's 21 million. When I say that Ethereum will flip Bitcoin in market cap, right? When you look at the market cap, just look at the market cap here. The market cap of Ethereum is $221 billion. For Ethereum, Bitcoin is $1 trillion. Bitcoin only solves a small segment of finance, store of value, right? So gold, think about it. Gold was a store of value, right? Gold is about between 10 to $12 trillion market cap. So let's say that Bitcoin gets half of that. All right, it's $5 trillion. The Ethereum ecosystem, think about this. And see, this is how I know that a lot of people, they don't think deeper. You have to look at all of the stuff that's built on top of Ethereum, right? All of these projects that you see built on top of Ethereum, they're taking market share from ETH. Follow me here. Link is built on top of Ethereum. That's $14 billion that's being taken away from ETH. That's $14 billion that could be going into Ethereum. When you look at, let's see here, Aave's worth $5 billion. That's sitting on top of Ethereum. That $5 billion could be going into ETH. When you look at Uniswap is sitting on top of Ethereum. That's another $5 billion that could be going into ETH. The reason why Ethereum isn't pumping is because all of the money that could be going into Ethereum is going into Ethereum-based projects sitting on top of Ethereum. Because Ethereum, at the base layer, has things on top of it that's valuable. Bitcoin has nothing. If you start adding up all of the projects that's sitting on top of ETH, and you simply said, let's take that value and put it into Ethereum, what do you think the market cap of Ethereum would be? But see, the difference about it is Ethereum has utility. Now he keeps saying gas. Everyone already knew that you would have gas problems. The reality about it is that the reason why gas fees are high is because you need developers to start using layer 2 scaling solutions and building them into their dApps. Those things will come with time. Guess what, Mr. G? If I came to you back in the early 90s where you had to pay per minute to use the phone, you would say, oh my God, no one would want to use it. There was a time when you had to pay per minute to use the phone. And then technology got better. There was a time where you had to wait till after 9 o'clock so that you can have free minutes. Now you use your phone all day long and you don't have to worry about that. Technology improves with iterations. If I looked at a phone back when it was the size of a brick, it wouldn't make any sense to me. But now we have phones that's the size of this. So I'm not looking at what gas fees are today. I'm looking at what gas fees will be 3 years from now, 5 years from now. It's common sense, right? This isn't complicated, right? It's not end of the story. The end of the story is that your project that Bitcoin literally can do nothing. That's a reality. And if you look at gains, Ethereum has outperformed Bitcoin. If I'm in that, Cardano has outperformed Bitcoin. Polkadot has outperformed Bitcoin. Link has outperformed Bitcoin. So from a gains perspective, what is your argument? Okay, you have $1 trillion market cap. It's not about the $1 trillion market cap, it's about the ROI. Ethereum has far outperformed Bitcoin based upon ROI. Cardano did a 1,700%. What's your point? Right? So you're happy that you're up 480 and other things are up 2,000%? Like, what's the argument here? And these are solid projects. Right? Like this is laughable. Like all you Bitcoin masters can say is, oh, price goes up. Okay, the price of everything goes up. Dogecoin is up 2,000%. What are you doing with your Bitcoin? What can you do with your Bitcoin? Right? Like everything is going up. So that can't be an argument. Well, my Bitcoin went up. Great. Dogecoin's up 2,000%. At the end of the day, we have to start asking ourselves, what's the utility for these things? Right? What are we doing here? Because if it's just about gains, well, Dogecoin got gains. Right? You can make 2,000% in Dogecoin, right? So just because you got $1 trillion market cap, well, who cares? Gains is what matters, right? But then at the end of the day, as we go further along and we look out, it also matters about what can you do with this stuff. I told you, I think that Cardano is, I think that Cardano is a lot of, Charles does a really good job at selling Cardano. That's why I sold a lot of my Cardano before. I should have held on to it. I still got a little bit, but I missed out on this big run because Charles has been making these promises for a very, very long time that Cardano is going to do this and it's going to do that and it's going to launch. And it's like, okay, we'll see. We're here. We'll see. You know, Cardano, we'll see, man. I don't. They make a lot of lofty claims. We'll see. John P. I like what you just said. He says Charles promised March 1st, so he got to put up or shut up. Yeah, we're going to see. I just think it's going to be very hard to catch Ethereum. Ethereum has too much tooling, too many dApps, too many applications. The Binance Smart Chain should not be able to jump over, Cardano that easily. Think about that. NFTs will be big. The crypto guy. Gary V's getting involved in the NFT space. I know Mark Cuban recently got involved. This goes back to the whole idea about trust. You can't do NFTs with Bitcoin, by the way. Can't do that on Bitcoin. This is another thing that you'll never be able to do on the Bitcoin network. Think about selling your music or being able to create a smart contract, right? And then you can simply license your music out. And whenever someone plays your record, whenever someone sells your record, your royalties are automatically placed right into your wallet. So you don't have to deal with lawyers and you don't have to deal with other vendors. That is extremely powerful, where you can create art. So for example, Mark Cuban was speaking about this, where like you can have art or a picture, and every time someone resells it, you get 3% or a 5% commission every time it's resold. That's huge. Being able to create digital products online, non-fungible assets or tokens, really, really big. Think about Pokemon cards. Think about sports collectibles, such as, Jordans, a pair of autographed Michael Jordan shoes, or, a famous painting, being able to tokenize that or create a digital asset, and you create 10 of them or 15 of them. You're literally creating a marketplace for these things. So a huge game changer. Smart contracts will be big in general because it removes the need, again, it removes the need for a middleman. You don't have to trust anyone. Code is law, right? And code will facilitate all of the things that you need. Yeah, and gold is only worth $10 trillion, right? So people see it as gold. How much is gold worth today? Right? See, this is not complicated. What is the gold market cap right now today? See, a lot of you overcomplicate this. Let's say Bitcoin right now dominates gold. Gold is the largest asset. Gold is worth 11 trillion here on this site. It's worth between 10 and 12 trillion dollars. Bitcoin's not going to capture the entire gold market cap. There will still be a space for gold. So let's say Bitcoin's cap is half of gold, $6 trillion. Okay, great. How large is the derivatives market? The derivatives market's a $2 quadrillion market. The derivatives market is a $2 quadrillion market. That's way bigger than the gold market. How large do you think the financial services market is? Right? See, when you listen to people sell you things, okay, Bitcoin's digital gold, great. The gold market's a $12 trillion market. How big is the global financial market? Right? How large is the global financial market? And then now start thinking about DeFi capturing that share of that market. So common sense tells you which one is bigger, which one has more potential. Right? Common sense would say to you, currency or gold is only one aspect of finance. I just said to you, margin trading, derivatives, non-fungible tokens, insurance. It's way larger than the gold market cap. No, Mr. G, you're wrong. You're factually incorrect. Right? You're factually incorrect. We're always going to be in a paper world. You're always going to be in a world of rehypothecating assets. So like this, I promise you, if it's not Ethereum, it's going to be Cardano or it will be Polkadot. Whichever asset figures out how to be the base layer, to be a platform where you can build things on top of it, it will be much bigger because therefore finance is much bigger than gold. Gold is just one aspect of finance. This is not complicated, right? This is not complicated at all. Bitcoin will never eat real estate because it's only designed to be digital gold. You could actually tokenize real estate on top of Ethereum. You could tokenize real estate on top of Cardano. So again, you're factually incorrect. There's no way that Bitcoin's going to be able to eat any of these assets. Won't happen. Bitcoin may get to $5-6 trillion. That's about it. How could Bitcoin be the enemy of rehypothecation when most people are taking their Bitcoin and they're sitting it on centralized exchanges? Like listen to what you're saying. It's the enemy of rehypothecation, yet people are taking their Bitcoin and storing it on centralized exchanges like BlockFi, centralized platforms like BlockFi, like Coinbase. Come on, man. Like you can listen to the Bitcoin maxi argument you want to, but the reality is people are not storing their Bitcoin. They're leaving it on centralized exchanges. Bitcoin can't be, how can Bitcoin be a bank? You can't borrow and lend on the Bitcoin network. How can you be a bank? Listen to what you're saying, just real quick, right? And it's like, how can you be a bank when you cannot borrow and lend within the network and the protocol? You have to go outside of the Bitcoin network in order to create borrowing and lending. You have to leave the protocol in order to do borrowing and lending. How can you be a bank without borrowing and lending? What banking services can you do with Bitcoin? Seriously, what can you do with the Bitcoin network? Nothing. You can send transactions, you can receive transactions, you can do multi-sig. That's it. That's it. With Ethereum, you can do borrowing, lending, you have stable coins, you have decentralized exchanges, you have nothing with Bitcoin, but you can send it and receive it and hold it. That's it. So how is that a bank? Right? Right? How is that a bank? That's not a bank. That's not banking. Right? That's not banking at all. Like this is embarrassing. Right? This is embarrassing. You can't do anything with Bitcoin but hold it. That's it. I own gold. I can't do anything with my gold but hold it. That's about it. Like, come on, man. The global real estate market is a $217 trillion market. What do you mean by tokenizing real estate? Tokenizing real estate basically is where you can bring real estate onto the blockchain. You can tokenize it the same way you can tokenize any asset on a blockchain. You can make it an ERC20 interface, and this way you'll be able to track it, monitor it, trace it the same way you could do with wrapped Bitcoin. So when they say that you have wrapped Bitcoin sitting on the exchange, someone's taking physical custody of the asset, and therefore we're putting that asset on the blockchain, or a representation of that asset on the blockchain. So therefore, we're already seeing that with real estate. Like, for example, we have something called Realty. I'll show you this right now. Realty Marketplace. So this is where you can tokenize, like, you know, pieces of your home on the Ethereum blockchain. So like you can basically take this asset of real estate and you can basically sell it to other people. You can sell pieces of it to individuals, but now it gives you full transparency because you can track this asset throughout the blockchain. You can look more into this if you want to. I'm not really a fan of Realty, but it says for the first time, investors around the globe can buy into U.S. real estate markets through fully compliant, fractional, tokenized ownership powered by the blockchain. And think about how large the real estate market is, right? So like he said, days of title forging. It just, think about the escrow process. Think about how easy it'll be to transfer real estate from one person to another. Now think about this. When we start talking about over collateralized loans, okay, I own this piece of real estate. Let's say this piece of real estate's worth $2 million. I can then go out and put that on the blockchain and lend it out. The same way I would lend out my Bitcoin, I can then borrow against it if I want to. There's just so many different things that you can do when you start tokenizing assets, meaning that you're going to start bringing real world assets onto the blockchain. Anything can be tokenized. Gold could be tokenized. Anything could be tokenized and brought onto the blockchain. You don't have, what are you talking about? Privacy. Do you realize that you KYC yourself when you buy Bitcoin? Like, well, listen to what you're saying. Like you need privacy. You don't have any privacy with your Bitcoin. You have no privacy with Bitcoin. Like, seriously, listen to what you're saying. You have right here. If I go to blockchain, if I go to the block explorer, there's no privacy here in Bitcoin. There's no privacy here. I can see every address and I can see what you sent and how much Bitcoin you hold. Right? Literally, I'm looking at a block explorer. I can click on this person's address right here and I can see all of the transactions that this person was involved in. And I can see all of the total amount sent, the total amount received, and they're involved in 3 transactions. Where do you see privacy at? Now, when you go to Coinbase, you literally KYC yourself. What are you talking about privacy? If I give you my Bitcoin address, or if I send you Bitcoin, you have my address. Well, then you can go look up my address on a block explorer. What do you mean privacy? What, like listen to the things that you're saying. Privacy? Bitcoin? Come on. I'm starting to think that you're just a troll, Mr. G. I'm starting to think that you're just a troll with the things you're saying, because there's nothing private about Bitcoin. Nothing's private about Bitcoin. Nothing at all is private about Bitcoin. Zero. I'll ask the chat. When you spend your money, do you upload a picture of your bank statement to Facebook? Come on. Come on, guys. Monero is by far my favorite cryptocurrency, Don Omar. By far. Right? Right? So, right? Thank you. No one spends their money and uploads their bank statement every time they spend their money to social media. That's effectively what you do when you spend your Bitcoin. When you spend your Bitcoin, you broadcast to the world, hey, this address has Bitcoin. And if a person wants to, they can go and pull up that address and see how much Bitcoin you've actually spent or used. And then they can start tracking the UTXOs, not just to you, but then they can start doing chain analysis to all of the other chains. So come on, that can never be a currency. That doesn't even make any sense. They can link your address to, they can look at your address and link the UTXOs to other addresses where the actual UTXOs either came from or who you sent them to. So come on. No, I know Mr. G's not a troll. I'm saying I'm starting to think he is. I'm starting to think he is a troll. I know who Mr. G is. I spoke to Mr. G. I know who Mr. G is. Mr. G's cool. I'm just playing around. Okay, so let's see. God damn, I didn't want to go this long for 2 hours. Thoughts on? I haven't looked at that project Anchor. There's a lot of, you got to think about it, guys. There's over like what, 6,000, 8,000 cryptocurrencies. There's absolutely no way that I can look into every cryptocurrency. I'm just now starting to look into Theta and Zilliqa. You guys asked me to look into Theta and Zilliqa, and that's what I'm starting to do now. So I just started doing that. Yeah, Mr. G's cool. John P says, when is the big reset going down? It's going down now. we're living through it. You don't see what's happening in Texas and happening in the financial markets. We're going through it right now. We're going through the great reset as we live. We're literally living through it. Right? We're living through the great reset as we speak. So we have to be mindful of those things. First of all, the JoJo's blog, BG, listen to what you're saying. That you're literally, if I take my Bitcoin and I pay someone, they know I have Bitcoin now. Not complicated. You can talk about buffer addresses all you want to. It's very easy to track Bitcoin. That buffer wallet doesn't work. You can keep believing that if you want to. Whenever you spend your Bitcoin, it's easy to track your Bitcoin. Even if you change addresses, like Satoshi said in the white paper, very, very easy to track it. So Bitcoin doesn't have any privacy. SNX, you know me, I'm a big bull on SNX Synthetics. I think that Synthetics is going to be a monster project. Let's look at SNX. I haven't checked it in a while. What price is SNX at? 23.31. It's up 2,000%. Sheesh, man. I sat back and watched it over and over. We're at 2.6 billion. I would be surprised. We've had a major run up now. I would be very surprised if we can at least get to a $5 or $7 billion market cap by the end of the year for Synthetics. Just for the simple fact of it just has so much utility. The UI is so clean, and the way that the way that the protocol is structured, it's by far the best. I know that they have some competition, but I would be highly shocked if we don't get at least a $5 to $7 billion market cap for this project. I'm kicking myself that I have a little bit of it, but nothing major. That's one of the hard things about investing, is at a certain point you run out of money, right? Like at a certain point you don't have any more money because you're fully invested at this point. So that's how I felt about like Aave and Synthetics. It's like I was able to get a little bit here and there, but nothing that I really want. So you know, because I was in stuff like Tezos, and I made a little bit of money in Tezos, but nothing crazy. I really wish I could have got a chance to focus on Aave and Synthetics. So Synthetics is going to be a big project. That's one of my favorites. What was the other one that you asked me about? You asked me about man, I can't see where you were at right now. VeChain. I sold a lot of my VeChain. I like VeChain. I think VeChain's a solid project. VeChain is something that I believe will be around 3 to 5 years from now. I believe that it'll be much higher. But I just believe that we have to have a pullback. VeChain's up, look, it's up 700%. And I was in VeChain at lower prices, so I made a lot of money in VeChain. VeChain was by far one of my biggest winners of the year. I like VeChain. It has major utility. So I just had to take profit in it. When do you think we will get a bear market? No time soon. more and more companies are going to start buying Bitcoin. That's just the reality. More Fortune 500 companies are going to start dipping their toes into Bitcoin. So I don't see a bear market for the foreseeable future. Just based upon the economic backdrop, the fact that the only way the economy can get restarted is they have to print money. Remember, institutions, Ethereum's not really even big enough right now to really start touching ETH in a major way. So most institutional investors, they're going to go towards Bitcoin. Most corporations and companies, they're going to go towards Bitcoin. So that's just the reality. And the more Bitcoin pumps, the more the rest of the crypto space is going to pump. And knowing that the Democrats are in control, they're going to have to print insane amounts of money to restart the economy. That's going to be beneficial for crypto, all assets in general. The stock market's going to do well. Real estate will do well. But because we're such a baby, you got to think about it. Again, the crypto market cap's $1.7 trillion. So could we get a 50%, pullback? Absolutely. This is crypto. It happens all the time. You should embrace it. When that 50% drop happens, you should be ready to sit up here and buy. I lived through 80% drops in 2015 and 16. I lived through all of that. That's just the time to buy more. When everyone's saying that it's a scam and I told you that thing was a scheme, you buy more because you'll get rewarded. If you hold, like Bitcoin, for example, on an annual basis, Bitcoin's up about 200% on a year-over-year basis. You get rewarded for holding Bitcoin. Why did you, I guess you're saying, what did you do with 0x, Tezos, Chainlink? I took profit on 0x because I was up big in 0x. Tezos really just been moving sideways for me. I made a little bit of money in Tezos, but I had to take some profit. Chainlink, I was up big in Link. So when I say I took profit, like I basically sold almost all of my 0x. But Chainlink, I only took like 30% off. I'm still in Chainlink in a big way. I'm still in Link in a big way. I'm still in DOT. I'm still in Bitcoin. I still hold a large amount of Bitcoin, a large amount of ETH. I'm still in a major way. But like VeChain, I had to take some profit in VeChain. Some big amounts of profit. I took profit in GRT. I took profit in Tezos. I took profit in Matic. I made big money in Matic. When you're up 15, 20x in a project, you have to take profit. Those are good holds. BTC, ETH, and Link those are really good holds. Remember, Chainlink is the link between the physical world and the blockchain, so it's a no-brainer to be long Link. Look at all of the partnerships that Chainlink has, so it's an absolute no-brainer that you would want to be in Chainlink. Ethereum will have its pains, and if ETH 2.0, you're going to hear it here first. If ETH 2.0 has any hiccups, any bugs, any delays, then you're going to see Ethereum drop like a stone. Right? The pressure's on Ethereum now to deliver. Don't get it twisted. I'm an Ethereum bull, but I'm honest. Because you have a lot of people who they don't really care about decentralization, right? They only care about their bags pumping. So that's going to give Cardano, that's going to give Polkadot, that's going to give Binance Coin a push. So if ETH has any delays, if they have any major bugs in ETH 2.0 and the consensus or any of that stuff, that's going to hurt ETH. But I believe that everything will be fine, in my personal opinion. I speak with the devs. I'm in different groups. I'm in Discords with Ethereum developers, and I encourage a lot of you to get involved in these communities where you can start learning and seeing the level of technology that they're building. Most people who you see, they tout Cardano and what's happening in Cardano. The same type of development is happening within the Ethereum ecosystem. So, make sure you keep these things in mind. So I don't really know much about Cardano. I just know that March is coming. I don't know if it's live, if it's not live. I don't know much about Cardano's roadmap, but I know about blockchains, right? And Blockchains are not designed to have all of this throughput. Like Charles, all of these things that Charles and these individuals are selling you, just ask them a very simple question. What is the security model on those transactions? Right? When they could do thousands of transactions per second, just ask them, what is the security model on those transactions? See, one thing about Satoshi, if you go back and you read the white paper, it's a reason why Bitcoin was designed to be slow, right? Because you have to be able to protect against Sybil attacks. You're going to have block reorgs. And if you have a lot of throughput and you have a fast blockchain, you're going to have a lot of orphaned blocks, a lot of stale blocks. You're also going to have a lot of latency, where this group of miners are going to find these transactions to solve the puzzle faster than others. And therefore, you're going to have more and more stale blocks, which therefore is going to lead you to possibly having a double spend attack. It's a reason why Bitcoin blocks are formed on average every 10 minutes and appended to the blockchain, because it gives all of the nodes enough time to properly sync up and propagate that transaction throughout the blockchain. Great. You push through 10,000 transactions in a second. Now, do you have enough time for all of the nodes in the network to properly sync up and verify that those are legitimate 10,000 transactions? Very hard to do that. Very, very hard to do that. Think about a blockchain like creating a character in NBA 2K. When you're creating your attributes, you can't give your character 99 everything, right? In a legitimate world, right? When you think about like LeBron James, he's not a 99 in everything, right? Steph Curry's not a 99 in everything. With blockchains, you're going to sacrifice security for more throughput. Bitcoin is designed to be the most robust, secure that possible, right? Now, some people are of the mindset that you don't need that much security. We shall see. Right? Well, you shouldn't have to pay miners so much money to protect and secure your network. Well, we'll see how that works out once these proof of stake blockchains begin to start to launch. But what you have to give Bitcoin credit for is that it has protected against 51% attacks. It has properly protected against block reorgs and Sybil attacks. So you have to give credit to that. The other blockchains, they're selling you a lot of stuff that in reality, I just don't think that they can do. Mm-hmm. Right? Like John P says, the iron triangle, fast, efficient, and good. You only can pick two. And that's the thing you have to understand about blockchains. Like when a person tells you that they're fast at the expense of what? So you have to keep these things in mind. And because a lot of you are new and you don't really know about this technology, a person can just sell you like, oh yeah, well, we're really fast. Well, it's a reason why you don't want to be fast. What happens to our ETH 1.0? So from my understanding, the way that it's going to work is that we're gradually going to shift to ETH 2.0. Both chains are going to run simultaneously. You're going to have proof of stake and you're going to have proof of work. Once you upgrade to ETH 2.0, you cannot bring that ETH back, right? So this is another reason why I've been kind of hesitant about putting all of my ETH 1.0 and converting it over to ETH 2.0 because it's not backwards compatible. Once you go to proof of stake, you cannot come back to the proof of work chain. And both chains are going to run simultaneously at the same time. And eventually more and more people are going to come over to the proof of stake chain, and then the proof of work chain will eventually die off or basically stop running because people will stop mining it and stop broadcasting it. So that's, in theory, what people expect to happen. Thank you, Kelvin. Do you know anything about G9999? I think that's like some network marketing company. A lot of people have been sending me something about that. Is that G99 thing about like it's like some network marketing pyramid scheme thing? Mm-hmm. You could Latron X. C Marie says, "What's a good stable coin? I personally like if we come over to DeFi rates, let's go. What's DeFi rates at? I think I moved it right. So this is real T. DeFi rate. I personally like DAI because no one controls it. Like with USDC, they can actually like freeze your account, right? Like if the feds or something think that you're doing something illegal, because it's a company behind it, right? So you have centralized and you have decentralized stable coins. I like DAI, but you get better rates. Like if you want to stake them, you get better rates with USDC. Like you can see, look, Fulcrum's paying 28% right now on USDC. So you can earn some, better, APYs with USDC. But I prefer DAI because it's decentralized. Yeah, ball headed Jamaican. Email me right now, right? Please email me right now. Let me find what's going on. So, I'll put it in because I could have swore I added you to the Slack group. I don't understand what's going on. I swear this thing is so small. I cannot read this. It's so small. info@mytechacademy.io. Yeah, email me, man. Let me find out what's going on. I could have swore I added you. I don't know what's going on. I could have swore Ballhead Jamaican I added you, man. Yeah, Mufasa. You get better rates on USDC and USDT because you actually have to put $1 in to get $1 out. And I have to use air quotes for that because we know with Tether, we don't really know if Tether is fully backed 1-for-1, right? For $1 to 1 Tether, we don't know that. So you tend to get better rates with your USDC and your USDT. But those are centralized stable coins. They're fully collateralized stable coins. Whereas, with DAI, you have to use they're like over collateralized loans. I spoke about Kevin already, Tyra Phillips, earlier. What resources do you use to be an early investor in a project? Number one, you have to get on certain lists. And also, like here in the States, there's like a certain criteria that you have to have with like income verification. Now, if you're like listed overseas, you can get involved in projects by just paying to get involved in like lists and stuff like that. So, then you have Polka Starter, like someone just said. That's another thing. For example, if you want to know about like projects that are about to launch, you can come here to Polka Starter if you want to. And you can see like new projects that they have getting ready to come up. These are different pools and stuff that you can invest in, right? You can get alerts for new pools. So people get on Polka Starter, they find new projects, pools to get involved in. But like for like lists, like there's certain lists that you can like pay to get involved in. So. I think Paraswap's going to do an airdrop next, Rose Green. In my opinion, I think Paraswap will. Like for example, when Polkadot was getting ready to launch, like if you lived out of the States, you could have invested in the pre-sale. Like they had like a token pre-sale. So for example, like a lot of projects, they'll announce, hey, we're getting ready to, go to the public market, and they'll have like an initial pre-sale. and you can buy right into the token if you want to in certain jurisdictions. Like here in the States, they lock us out from that. So like Polkadot couldn't sell to US based people, but like if you're on like a mailing list, so for example, like Moonbeam, right now they have like a waiting list. You can just get on the list and then I'll let you know, hey, we're getting ready to do a pre-sale on this day. And then you can invest a certain amount of ETH. Sort of like the ICO days. Like back in the day, you know, a project with ICO, they would have a list and then like they'll accept like 50,000 ETH, right? And once they fill up 50,000 ETH, they then shut it down to the public. So it basically, you just have to get on a waiting list for these projects and they'll let you know. But if you're an American citizen, a US citizen, you can't get on those lists. Right? So just, you know, keep those things in mind. So now this is where VPNs come into play, right? Like, well, I'm a US based customer or resident, I mean, so I can't use my IP address, but if I use a VPN, then I can get around that, right? So if I want to get on one of these lists and I want to get into one of these early pre-sales, get me a VPN, get into the right Slack groups, the right Discord groups, and you can find out what's going on, right? This is why it's important for you to get involved in communities, right? Like I'm in a lot of Discord groups and I get to hear rumors as to what's going to get ready to get launched and stuff like that. And they also email me a lot of times. Like I told you, they emailed me about this, you know, this BlockFi thing that I turned down. I'm not promoting something centralized. I can't rose green. I have a Slack group and I barely can keep up with the Slack group that I have. I have so many people in my Slack group. It's hard to keep up with that. You know, so it's like a Telegram will be too much for me at this point. I barely can keep up with the Slack that I have. I have a lot of work on my hands. I'm just now wrapping up this coding bootcamp thing. Still got to edit videos. Like it's over 90 hours, but after I edit it down, it's like it should be around 60. But it's like I got a lot of stuff that I've been working on. So I'm going to end it here, guys. We've been going on for 2 hours and 17 minutes. You know, I haven't did a stream in about like 8 days. So I said, I'll sit here with you guys. I'm going to wrap it up like this. As Bitcoin appreciates in price, you're going to get a lot of people from the traditional finance world, like a Meet Kevin, a Graham Stephan, who they're going to gravitate towards what they know. And Meet Kevin, he comes from the Weebles, the Robinhoods, which is centralized. And the whole purpose of crypto is designed to get rid of middlemen, counterparties. It's designed to be permissionless, borderless, immutable. So when I see people going towards a BlockFi, that's a centralized company. That's an entity. They have control. And therefore, they can tell you when and when you cannot access your funds and what you can do with it. When you look at decentralized aggregators like 1inch or an exchange like Uniswap, what happened with Robinhood cannot happen with crypto. This is the whole purpose of crypto. Taking ownership of your asset, removing middlemen and intermediaries. And this little 8% that they're paying, or 6%, you know, with Fulcrum, with Wrapped Bitcoin, you can earn 13.5%. Right? With some stable coins, you can earn 22%. Now, yes, these rates, they do fluctuate. They move up and down. But the rates with BlockFi fluctuates as well. But the most important thing is you get rid of counterparty risk and you get rid of custodian risk. So you have to keep these things in mind when you are investing or when you're listening to a Meet Kevin. And I'm not saying that he's a scammer or anything, but look how many links he has here. Right? So he's getting paid a commission to promote BlockFi. And he makes money from promoting BlockFi. So, of course, he's going to go the centralized route. And also, that's because what he's comfortable with. And you're going to see more people like him. They have large followings. Like Gene Simmons, he just stated that he purchased 300K worth of Cardano. And my job, although I do not have a platform as large as Meet Kevin or Graham Stephan, is to let you know that you can get better returns and decentralization at the same time. You can have your cake and eat it too. not your keys, not your crypto. You have to get, you cannot be that lazy where you don't understand Satoshi gave you a gift. That's the gift of ownership. I can control my assets and I can control what I do with my assets. The worst thing you want to do and the last thing you want to do is leave your assets sitting with a company like BlockFi. Okay, they have insurance. They're overcapitalized, but they lose your Bitcoin. They pay you out your insurance claim. They're paying you in worthless fiat dollars, right? We're trying to get away from the fiat dollar. Your Bitcoin is pristine collateral because at the end of the day, institutions want your Bitcoin. That's the reality. So just make sure that you're being smart with your assets, being smart with who you listen to, and not allowing people to manipulate you and, try to steer you in directions that puts money in their pockets. For those of you who are looking to learn about crypto, we have My Tech Academy. We currently have a 3-day trial, free of charge, as long as you cancel within the first 3 days. Please be responsible. If you do not like the product and the service that I'm offering you, please make sure you cancel before the 3 days are up. If you want to do some business with me or talk business or investing, you can book a consultation with me. All of the services and things that we have to offer here is on the website. A link is in the description below. Rose Green, thank you for the donation. Hedera Halfscraft is a beast. Yes, that's one of the projects I was invested in. PayPal will join the council soon. Go to Hedera Hackathon to see all of the judges. PayPal, Pfizer. Yes, Hedera Hashgraph is a nice project. I was invested in that project as well as Augur. With that being said, guys, have a blessed and beautiful night. I will see you guys tomorrow. Definitely going to take me a little break because my mouth is dry. Please like the video, share the video, subscribe. Make sure that you hit the notification bell. Make sure that you join my mailing list in the description below. Follow me on Instagram. Shoot me a DM if you want to dialogue. And I think that's about it. So I'm going to end it here.